What up? It's Greggatron. I hope you like my shirt. Yeah. I got this shirt from Six Flags back in the day. Six Flags. Alright, before I get started, let me say this. If you got kids listening at home, don't watch this video. Don't show this video to your kids. Because I know some of y'all watch my videos with y'all's kids. But even with that said, I'm going to try and keep it clean. You've been warned. That's my disclaimer. Alright. So there's this woman who's been on the internet off and on. Everybody's talking about her. Not everybody, but Bonny Blue, right? And she had challenged herself to take 1,000 mushroom tips in one day. So apparently she did that now, and all hell is breaking loose on the internet. You know, because of her haters, people are saying this is so wrong, this is so terrible, and she's a bad influence and all this stuff. Well, to give you some background on her, I guess not only is she an OnlyFans model, but I guess she's an actual porn star. Which I didn't even know that part. But yeah, she's actually a porn star. So she was born in 1999. She's 25 years old. I'm like, what? She's so young. What the? And I did the math, right? She did. And she actually did more than 1,000 men. She did 1,057 according to her. But we'll keep it at 1,000 because it's a round number. So she had 1,000 mushroom tips in 12 hours, according to her. That's 500 mushroom tips in 6 hours. Well, that's 83 mushroom tips in 1 hour. That's 83 every 60 minutes. 60 minutes to an hour. Okay. That's 41 and a half mushroom tips on average in 30 minutes. That's 20.75 mushroom tips in 15 minutes on average. So for every 4.15 mushroom tips, she only had 3 minutes apiece. So that means each mushroom tip, she only had 1.38 seconds. 1 minute and then 0.38. So each man only got like not even a minute and a half. This is insane. You didn't even need to do that. You could have just had 500 men, but just double the time. Or had 100 men. This is crazy. If you only have 1.5 minutes apiece, you know they're not going to finish, right? And I saw a video she was talking about she would be disappointed if the man didn't finish. I'm like, first of all, they're going to be wearing condoms, I would hope. And if you're wearing a condom, you're not going to finish in 1.5 minutes. So that's insane. So again, what's the point? You just have a long line of dudes lined up. They get their little minute and a half, and then they move on to the next guy. This is just on average. I'm like, you're only doing this to be famous. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what this is all about. You want to be that person who has the Guinness Book of World Records for doing that. Well, here's the thing, Jack. You're going to love this. What happens when some other woman comes along and says, you know what? I can beat that. Then she comes along, she's younger than you, prettier, more slutty, whatever. And then she does, I don't know, 1,100. Well, now you're going to be depressed, which, you know, she's probably already depressed. Well, now that she's depressed, she's going to be like, oh man, I can't have this. I'm going to have to get 1,200 mushroom tips in 12 hours. It's just going to be an endless cycle of pain and misery and mess. Don't do this. Don't go down this road, because this is a very slippery slope. For one, I hope they're wearing condoms, but if you want them to finish, they ain't wearing no condoms. So not only do you have to deal with, you know, potential diseases, but you got to deal with everything else that comes with that. And if I was a man, if I'm man number 999, why would I want to go deep inside after 998 dudes? So this is jacked up on both sides. It's just to be famous. And she's not going to be able to live a normal life after this, because now that she's famous for this, or infamous, now when men see her out and about, and porn stars get this too all the time, when people see her out and about, especially men, they're going to be like, yo, that's her. Can I get my picture taken with you? They're going to want to have sex with her. They're going to want to be doing all this stuff, because that's what she's known for. And she kind of welcomed it on the internet. So she won't be able to have a normal life. And check this out. What happens when she grows out of this and she wants to, you know, settle down? She wants to have kids, a family. She sees maybe she's wrong. She wants to revert back to being unslutted. Well, whoever marries this woman in the future, shout out to him. I'm not going to. Not after 1,000 mushroom tips. But you know how these things work. Someone's going to wife her, or husband her up, wife her up. And then what happens when they're in public 20 years from now? Because social media is forever. And dudes are all up in her face like, was that you on OnlyFans 20 years ago? Are you the one who was... Well, here's the thing, Jack. Now your kids have to know, if and when you have kids. That's the messed up thing about social media. What you did, and I'm not trying to like judge her and point the finger, but what she did is like worse than porn, because not everybody's on porn, but everybody's on social media. So average normies, common folk, they could recognize her without even watching any of her videos or any of her stuff. Like I said, it's going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records or whatever, right? So she doesn't have a choice but to experience that. And it might be cute in the beginning, like, oh yeah, that was me, he. But that shit's going to get old. That's going to get really old. So I don't know how this is going to happen. It's crazy. And you ain't going to be happy. You ain't going to be satisfied. Like, the thrill will come in the beginning, but it'll fade away. And like I said, she's going to want to do it again. Because how much money do you make on OnlyFans? You know what I'm saying? She'll just be another miserable celebrity, I think. I took some notes here. Yeah, and another thing, she won't even be able to have male friends. You know how you have some female friends who you can just hang with? You can just kick it with? She ain't gonna be one of them. Because any male friend she has, that friendship is now ended. because they're automatically going to want to go deep inside. That's a fact. And if she says no, they'll be like, well, you let 1,000 dudes smash. Get it? It's a slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope. Again, what happens when she wants to grow out of this? It's almost, I shouldn't say impossible, but you set yourself up for tragedy. She won't be able to go anywhere without that type of feedback or attention. So, I guess shout out to you for doing what you wanted to do as far as completing the mission at hand. But I don't even care about what she did, because people do stuff like that. I'm looking at the psychological, like, what happens next? What's the end game here? You know, when she does, if and when she does have a real relationship, or boyfriend or husband or whatever, will she even be able to cope with that? Like, what happens when she gets flashbacks of the 1,000 mushroom tips? Like, let's say she enjoyed it at the time, right? But now, 5 years later, let's say it's like bothering her. It's triggering her. And let's say the man doesn't even care. Let's just say the man doesn't even know about her past. Psychologically, wouldn't that still bother her? Like, man, I'm about to get married, yet I had 1,000 mushroom tips. Oh no. I think that could be a demon on her back that could, like, haunt her. And even if she overcomes that demon, you still got the demons in public, out and about, who are like, I know you, you're Bonny Blue. So like I said, that's why I say social media is even worse than porn. Because not everybody watches porn. But everybody, I guarantee you, this woman's on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff. Because that's what these influencers do. They have multiple streams or websites or apps, whatever you want to call it. They're on multiple sites. So she's just going to have to deal with that. She's everywhere. Because that's what it means today to be famous. If you want to be famous, you're not just going to be on this channel or that channel. You're going to have as many channels as possible. So here's the dangerous thing about this. Kids are on these websites. Kids are on these apps and stuff. So what happens when your kids' friends see you on the app, 15 years later, and then the kid puts two and two together, not even knowing that that's you. But let's say you're picking your kid up from school now. You're picking your kid up from school, right? And then the other kids are like, wait a minute. Isn't that woman I seen on Twitter or Snapchat, Instagram? But like I said, on those sites, you don't even need to show off everything. You just need to talk about it. So they're still going to know it's you, whether they watch your stuff or not. So good luck living a normal life. 1,057 mushroom tips. It just doesn't make sense. But shout out to her, I guess. Shout out to Bonny Blue. I'm not judging Bonny Blue. I'm just looking at it like, yo, sweetheart, more power to you. And I don't understand it either, because she's real pretty. Like, any man, no pun intended, but any man would line up to be with her. So it's like, you could find love if you wanted love, but she doesn't want love. She just wants sex. Because you know how they say, like, love at first sight? She's pretty enough to where there's dudes out there who would be like, yo, I'm in love at first sight. So she doesn't really want the non-slut life. She'd rather be a slut, which is fine. That's her prerogative. But don't come crying when you're used up, when you got a bunch of city miles on you. Don't cry when that happens. And here's the thing about women. Let me tell y'all about women. Body count does matter. And a man does not want a woman who has that many city miles on her. That's a fact. And another thing, when you're doing 1,000 dudes all at once, the men, they're not even going to be able to feel that stuff. So that's why I say you only did it to be famous. Because there was I doubt there was any enjoyment on either side. It was like 6 pumps, 4 pumps, and then he dipped out. Then the next guy got 5, 6 pumps, then he dipped out. It's like, y'all didn't even enjoy it. And then I bet backstage they're probably all high-fiving each other. Did you get your 6 pumps in, man? Yeah, I got my 6 pumps. Did you finish? No, I didn't finish. I came close, though. I almost did. Get out of here. You people are something else. Something else. But hey, anything to be famous, right? This video's long enough. I'm done talking about this. Peace.